This map only has 19 subscribers. Can you believe it? This is Vacant Kleiner's Lab by Sonic Glitch 12. I like this map because what you see is what you get. Sometimes when you see a map on the workshop, you have no idea what'll be in store for you. And trust me, we'll get to one of those later. But with this, you read the title, and you immediately get it. And you know what? The creator perfectly followed through. This is a very well executed version of Kleiner's Lab, but with nothing in it. I don't think it's hard to see why it only has 19 subscribers right now. Very few people probably want to walk around an empty version of Kleiner's Lab. But Sonic Glitch 12 didn't care about that. He had an idea and saw it to its conclusion. He built it for himself. That's the beauty of Gary's mod. Join me as we look at more maps that barely anyone has seen before. Welcome to Video Game World Tours. This is My False Memories of Half-Life 1 by Man from Mars. This is also what it says on the tin. It's a pack of 2 maps this guy created from false memories. When he was a kid, he had memories watching his dad play Half-Life. But apparently the spaces he remembered aren't actually in the game. And yeah, this is one of those fake spaces. I actually had to download Half-Life Source for these textures. I feel bad for even installing it. But hey, I did it from Man from Mars. Anyway, this is weird, right? All this is a simple hallway with a weird light portal thing. I think that's what's going on. Can you imagine this in Half-Life? I can kinda squint my eyes and place this mentally into my Half-Life playthrough from a couple years ago. It has that feel. The other map they made, I don't know. I can't imagine a space like this being in Half-Life. I think it was in the last video like this, where I talked about map creators building out spaces they saw in dreams. There's a lot of those on the workshop. But recreating a false memory? That's unique. Though I guess they pull from the same part of your mind. Your brain takes things it's seen before and twists them, warping them into doppelgangers that have parts of what you know, but they're rearranged in ways different from reality. Everyone's had that dream of being in a space they're intimately familiar with, but there's an extra door that isn't usually there. Something like that. False memories are kinda the same in my eyes. This guy remembers seeing Half-Life as a kid, and his brain processed that info at the time. But when trying to recall it years later, it's all jumbled. He remembers spaces that don't actually exist. Maybe this is kinda close to some space in the game. I'm not super familiar with Half-Life, maybe you guys in the comments can tell me. Does this look like any of the rooms in the game? What about this? I don't know, I just like thinking about how memory can be fallible. This is GM Pools by Razzies. I love the ecosystem of liminal space maps in this game. A very large portion of the gmod player base has come to the conclusion that maps in the source engine can feel kinda off-putting at times. Something about the lighting and textures make spaces feel uncanny, and maps like this serve to capitalize on that. I think these are popular among map creators for 2 reasons. Number 1 is because this style obviously resonates with a lot of people. They dig the uncanny backrooms vibe. But more importantly, I think it's because these are easy to make. The Hammer editor is relatively easy to learn, and once you do grasp the fundamentals, it's super simple to make a space like this. It didn't take any fancy advanced features to make this room. Even though this is a relatively simple map, that there's hundreds or thousands of maps out there that go for this kind of vibe, it still feels unique. The creator put his own touches on this space to make it feel weird to him. Like this starry sky above. I don't see many backrooms-inspired maps with windows like that. Or these slats in the wall. I guess we're just floating in space. Even though this slide is kinda funky, you can still ride down it. Whee! And these floating lights, though that's probably not intentional. Regardless, I appreciate this map. I'm glad it exists. The workshop page even states that this is their first map. There really are an endless amount of these backroom maps, but most of them feel distinct. The mapping ecosystem itself is like a backrooms. It's endless and bizarre. Welcome to Over 9,000 Flats by Vasya. Sorry to start the show with a showstopper, but this is the final map uploaded by Vasya in this series. It started with 180 flats, then 360 flats, and now we're at over 9,000. Every single one of these buildings has a full interior. Huh. The title says over 9,000, and the description says it's actually 10,800. 240 buildings, each with 5 floors, and 3 flats per floor. 10,800 rooms. No human being before me has ever entered this room, I bet. You guys know me, I'm fascinated with that kind of thing. Even though this map will get a bit of exposure from my video here and some downloads from you guys, still, not all of these rooms will have been explored before. The creator could have hid some Easter egg in flat 8,853 and we'd never know. The space is kinda freaky looking at it from above. The buildings are arranged in such a specific pattern, it almost feels like a crop circle or something. And the sky is rotating super fast. I don't know what that's about. If I was ever randomly transported into a Garry's Mod map, I wouldn't want it to be this one. Let's see, I designate this building as the official Predizen apartment complex. Everyone, go download this map and decorate your own room in here. Share it with me on Twitter when you're done, so I know you're a true follower. I don't know how YouTube compression is going to handle this next one, but I gotta show it to you guys. GMXQIR by Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. This is just... where do I even start? Starting with what I hate most is the walking sound. It's like this ground was given the sludge material properties. It slurps and squelches as you walk around. Not a fan. The description says we're in a cave, but it feels like a very bizarre one. Specifically with the patterns of the rocks sticking out from the wall. It feels like there's no rhyme or reason to when they jut outwards. Feels very unrealistic. Also, there's this floating thing. Is this one of those magnets that come together and make that clacking sound? Maybe you've noticed, I don't know. The textures are a little out there. This truly looks like my graphics card fried and my computer is on its deathbed. I do like the avant-garde nature of it though. I'm gonna guess this was just made by quickly throwing some nonsense together to learn Hammer, but as a standalone map, this is kinda interesting. Imagine a normal game like Uncharted having a room like this. Actually, now that I think about it, Chrono Cross did kinda have a place with this vibe. It's a strange, painted world you visit partway through the game, though it's obviously a bit more structured, you can tell what you're looking at. I'm not gonna spoil any more about it, go play Chrono Cross. It's one of my favorite JRPGs, the vibes carry it so hard. If I could, I'd be using the OST from that game almost exclusively as background music for my videos, but Content ID deems such a thing impossible. Wait, where was I? I slipped into JRPG mode. It's been a while since I did that around here. Yeah, this is wacky. It's an assault on the eyes, but it's paradoxically comforting, to me at least. In the center of the cave are some steps leading downwards. To what? I don't know. There's some Z fighting going on there, but that's probably not intentional. It's just such a weird decision to give this otherwise random and chaotic cave a little bit of structure with these stairs. GM Mapes by MHLZXC is our next stop. I'm not gonna lie, I picked this map solely because I saw it had a picture of a cat in it. I love when map creators immortalize their cats in their maps. It makes it feel personal. And come on, look at that fella. Aren't they so cute? This is kind of a weird map though. At a distance, it looks like 2 buildings. The description doesn't tell you anything about them. But when you get in close, there's some funky details. There's this decorated space that almost feels like a spot you'd see in a normal map, with these boards propped up, trash on the ground, and graffiti. And then over here there's a Lambda cache, like we're playing Half-Life 2 or something. Up this ladder are some, like, smokestacks? Though one of them has a slice taken out of it, don't know why. In the other building there's a giant hole in the wall. And also this thing. Climbing all the way up the tower gives you the grand reward of nothing. I don't know. There was some theme for this map in the creator's head. I can feel it. There are so many little details that feel like they exist for a reason. Like this thing. I just can't get past it. It's such a small thing to include. Why? And over here, if this was using actual textures instead of the grid stuff, it would look like an actual space. There's even the flickering lighting from above. Just ignore that there's no bulbs that it should be coming from. Kitty, what do you think? Yeah, me too. GM8 by Artifacts. Look, this is another map I was lured into by a cat picture. I can't help it, I'm currently in my cat phase. Look at the little fella sitting in the bucket, so adorable. Why is this map called 8? There's one building with a giant 8 on it. I don't get it. The description says it's a pretty simple map and that they'd like to add more. I think that this tells a story. I feel like we've all had projects we've started that we say we'll finish one day, and then slowly they just evaporate from your memory, and you forget the promise you made to yourself. The only other map this person has posted also featured a promise to expand the map, with clarification that they probably won't. But if we look at the changelog, they did, so good on them. No shame on them for not adding to 8 though. I've dropped plenty of projects I told myself I'd finish. And I've never made a map with such adorable cat pictures. Or any, really. I wonder if any of these are Artifacts' cat. I hope the KFC bucket one is. That's a great picture. The next map is a surprise, both to you and me. Here's a screenshot of the workshop page. GMD 3, uploaded by Chucklenuts. The name doesn't really give away what this map is about. The thumbnail and description are the defaults when you upload a map via GM Publisher. I have no idea what's in store for us, and we're gonna discover it together as I load in for the first time here. I'm scared. This is basically a short little horror map. Just a set of some corridors all connected to each other, leading you to this big room full of zombies at the end. Past that gauntlet, there's a crowbar and a G-Man waiting for you. This is the least played of all the maps I've shown off, I think. As of right now, it only has 7 unique visitors. Doesn't get more underground than this. And this is the only map this person has uploaded. They didn't use this as a springboard into learning how to make more complex maps. They just made this and decided they were good. Looking into it, I think this might have been made for a friend group. I see this as part of a collection that seems related to a server event someone hosted. All of those visitors I mentioned before are probably involved with this event. Could I be the first person outside of them to play this? Regardless, it's funny I can stumble across stuff like this. And I don't mean to put a microscope on this person and their one level. It feels like finding a 2-view YouTube video that's a home movie of a family's cookout. I feel like I shouldn't be seeing this. You know what? My bad. Sorry for the intrusion. The final map isn't necessarily super obscure, but I found it while searching for lesser known ones, and I feel like this map didn't get as much attention as it deserves. Spa Day by Shab47. The description for this map perfectly sets the mood. Sit down and relax at our finest floating spa. You will learn what true peace feels like here. Feel free to fly around to your heart's content, because the design is very human. This is just such a surreal space, and it contrasts with the mostly normal description you just heard. I was walking around for a bit looking for how to go up or down floors, but there aren't any. This place was designed for flying around. It's so interesting. We're not used to seeing spaces built for beings that can just fly around. Those people would have no need for ladders or steps. If you want to reach that spot up there, you just float to it. He's having a good time. This almost feels like a Halo map. I was never super into that series, but I played a bit of Halo 1 multiplayer in the Master Chief Collection. With some ramps, I feel like this would fit perfectly into that game. This architecture just feels like Halo to me. Oh, and of course, you might notice surrounding us are more of these spas, below us and on all 4 sides. I guess we're in a dimension where these stretch on forever. Did you see it? It's kind of hard not to, especially when going to one of the copies on the side. There's teleport triggers that teleport you to the other side of the map when reaching a wall. This is a super ambitious map. You can see the map creator experimenting with the source engine here. They're trying to figure out how it works and how to manipulate it into making fantastical visuals. It looks so crazy just at a glance here, but when you no-clip into an object, you can see the actual bounds of the map. It's just one of the spa layers, but the map creator was willing to fiddle around and try some wacky stuff. Speaking of, I feel like this map creator doesn't get as much attention as they deserve, let alone just this map. I thought this was cool, so I went to their workshop submissions page to see if they did anything else, and wow, they've uploaded a lot of maps, and in all kinds of different styles too. I love their sheer creativity to just make things, to consistently put together smaller maps to learn and grow, or just for the sheer act of creation. Their profile description reads, "Create until nothing is left to create." I like that. Shout out to you, Shab47. You're keeping the dream alive. Thanks for watching, Pretizens. See you all next time.